Welcome to e-Niro Diaries on November the 3rd. We're on our way down to Bordeaux Airport and heading off to the Canary Islands for a week. And Mrs. e-Niro driving. Yeah, she's recovered from her hip replacement operation. That was 6 weeks ago now, so hopefully a week in the sunshine might help. So charged up to 100% and it registered 513 kilometres, not quite as high as the midsummer estimate on the GOM. Obviously that's not going to happen driving on the fast roads. We've done 83 kilometres and let's see, 83 kilometres and use 14%. I don't trust that at all based on previous experiences of driving down to Bordeaux. Anyway, so got about another hour to get down to Bordeaux, get on the plane, and then the next thing is we'll be coming back, miraculously, we hope. Forgot to mention that we're renting a car for the week in Fueteventura. Supposed to pick it up at the airport tonight. Flight gets in on time, and all things being equal, it should be a Fiat 500e. So hopefully we'll be able to carry on driving electric on the island. So yeah, we'll see. They always say the car or equivalent, so could end up driving something with a bag of pistons up the front, we don't know. Anyway, e-Niro's just clocked over 110,000 kilometres now, and we're getting closer to Bordeaux. So here we are a week later. We got back from Fueteventura yesterday afternoon on the 10th of November after a wonderful week of sunshine and swimming. And obviously it was good for Mrs. e-Niro's recovery from a hip operation. But did we get the Fiat 500e electric car? No, we didn't. So we arrived quite late on the previous Sunday night, and we'd ordered this electric car, and they talked us out of it. They said, "Oh, you know, you won't be able to charge it. They'll have all kinds of problems." You know, and I really get the impression that they've had a bad experience with renting electric cars out to holiday makers who don't really know how to use them. But the annoying thing was that the following morning, when we woke up in the place we were staying, 10-minute walk up the hill to the supermarket, and there were 5 slow chargers there at the supermarket. So, and we did see some electric cars there. I saw a couple of Volvo EX30s, VW ID4, saw some Nissan Leafs, a few Renault Zoes, but I don't think any of the higher cars are electric. Because I mean, every other car you see on the island is a hire car, and they do get bashed around a bit because people like to drive out to the base of these calderas, these extinct volcanoes, and hike up to have a look. And the last sort of few kilometres up to the place where you begin to hike are just dirt roads, you know, stony and rutted. And yeah, we went up to one of those, and we got a Toyota Yaris in the end, you know, hybrid. You know, it's an easy car to drive, small car, ideal really for, you know, a week on the island. And but yeah, it's very good. Now onto the e-Niro. Going down to Bordeaux on the day we flew, it was a warm day and we ran into a lot of traffic on the way down. There was roadworks, and on the Bordeaux ring road we got into some really heavy traffic. It was the end of the school half terms and there was a lot of people on the road, and but it meant that, you know, our economy going down there over a 186 kilometre trip was 13.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. So it's sort of comfortably about, what's that? I don't know, 4.4, 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. And when we got parked up, we were still showing 318 kilometres of range, having done 185 kilometres. So then that implied a range of just over 500 kilometres, I think 503 kilometres. But actually, if you do the efficiency calculation on a 64 kilowatt hour battery, 13.7, that indicates a range of 467 kilometres. So it's quite a bit of discrepancy between what the GOM tells you based on how far you've travelled and how much more it thinks you've got, and the kind of efficiency calculation that the trip computer's telling you. It's about 36 kilometres difference. Now, when we got back yesterday, it wasn't quite so warm, but it was still about 17, 18 degrees. And we were then driving north into a headwind. And whereas Mrs. e-Niro did a lot of the driving coming down, I did it all going back. And I wasn't hanging about. And by the time we got home, it was only 16.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. So, implying a range of about 395 kilometres if you, again, divide it, use the battery capacity and divide that out. That's a massive difference. Obviously, it's about 70 odd kilometres difference in range between the trip down there. So the round trip then was, we did 371 kilometres. When we got home, the state of charge was showing at 13%. And we had 54 kilometres showing on the gasometer, so that implies a range of 425 kilometres. But it just goes to show that there is a massive difference depending on if you're going, if you've got headwind, tailwind, and of course the speed. I was driving a bit faster coming home yesterday. But no problem. I mean, Bordeaux and back in the e-Niro at motorway speeds. Anyway, hope you found that interesting. Actually, a couple of weeks, I think, no, it was a week before that, I had a drive in the Rental Scenic E-Tech, which was a very impressive car, a bit bigger than the e-Niro, very comfortable, wonderful Google Maps display there. The software seems to work really, really well. Really enjoy driving it, but it's a lot of money. And, Renault are really doing well with their electric cars. I think the Megane E-Tech looks great. This new Renault 5, they had those at the garage there, and they were really good. It's a very sort of chic-looking car, and I'm sure it'll sell very well. And it's beautifully designed in interior, as well as looking great. But, they're still too expensive. I mean, Renault have a whole range of petrol and hybrid cars that are of a similar size to there's the Raphael and there's the Arcana, and, I don't know why they've got so many models. But there's about 4 different models that are all around the same size as the Scenic electric car, and they're all 5, 6, 7,000 euros cheaper on average, and I don't see any excuse for that because batteries are a lot cheaper and there's a lot less components in an electric car than there are in a fossil fuel car. But I will moan about that continuously and nothing will change, I'm sure. Anyway, back home again. The next trip for us will be a trip to the UK at the beginning of December, and I'll no doubt do a video about that one. Anyway, hope you're well, keep well, and thanks for watching.